Hello and welcome to Books of Blood. My name is John, and today I've got a review of Juniper by Jeffery. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. Juniper is a post-apocalyptic horror about an insane American town seemingly at the edge of reality. As Juniper suffers from scorching drought and medieval famine, the townsfolk are forced to rely on the new cattle for food, monstrous interbred cats kept by the oppressed Janet Leahy. But there's a problem. Janet's prize Ginger Tom, Bucky, has gone missing, flown the coop. As Janet and her deranged ex-con husband Klein intensify their search for the hulking mongrel, Betty Davis, an old woman clinging to survival on the outskirts of Juniper, discovers something large and ginger and lying half dead by the side of the road. She decides to take it home. Okay, so reading that, I read the synopsis before I started reading the book, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a book about this rather dystopian town, all right? It's going to be about this depressing town, and in a way it is, but it's not the way that I expected. I expected it to be more, plot-driven story that would, tells you a little bit about different people in the town and the struggles they're going through. And that's really not what this is. This is more of a character-driven story that focuses more on the three people that are mentioned on the back of the book, okay? So that was a really pleasant surprise for me because, to be honest with you, when I first picked this up, or when I first bought this, I thought, after I read the synopsis, I'm like, is this what I want to read? Do I want to read this? But I told Ross, I said that I would read it, and I would give him a review on it, and that's what I'm doing, okay? Anyway, let's go over the characters, because truth be known, the three characters that you see on the back of the book, Janet, Klein, and Betty, are the three characters that you encounter the most. In fact, probably 98% of the entire book are these three characters, okay? So let's go over these guys one by one because I think they really need to be broken down, all right? So let's go with Janet first. And it's exactly what it says about Janet. Janet is oppressed. She is married to Klein, and Klein, let's put it this way, she sees the end of Klein's fist more times than she anybody would ever hope to see, which should be zero, all right? In fact, at one point, he has beaten her so bad it lands her in the hospital, and it lands him in prison, okay? I couldn't help but like her, and I couldn't help but sympathize with her. More of sympathizing than liking. It's not that I didn't like her. I did. I liked Janet. I hated to see the things she was going through, and she turns to these cats for solace. She turns to these cats to give her something to do, a purpose in life. And because this town, Juniper, is such a dead town, and when I say dead, it's not dying, it's dead, okay? It's just waiting for somebody to come along and tell it, hey, you're dead. Just lie down and die. And this town just kind of refuses to do that. But it is just pardon my expression, I try not to cuss on here. It's a shithole. That's exactly what it is, okay? And so Janet, she starts off by raising these cats, and then they start interbreeding, and then she's raising these hulking cats that she's literally selling or giving to people for food. She's preparing them like meals. Trigger warning, if you are not into this kind of thing, animal cruelty, or I don't even know if it's animal cruelty because she's doing it out of necessity. That's all they have to eat, all right? So that's Janet. That is Janet and her purpose, all right? So let's go over, because I'm going to save Klein for last, all right? Let's go to Betty. Betty, I loved Betty. Betty is a determined old lady that she's going to survive on her terms. And I pretty well think even if it kills her. I mean, this woman eats roadkill for food. She goes along the highway and picks up roadkill. And then one day she picks up this ginger roadkill, or this ginger-colored roadkill, and takes it home. And it's hurt. It's hurt bad, okay? And she takes it home and she nurses it back to health. unaware that, Janet and Klein are looking for this animal. Well, she is aware because she runs into Klein on the road, but she hides the animal. But anyway, that's Betty. I love Betty because Betty is a kind of a survive at all costs and doesn't care what people think of her, doesn't care about modern things. She's kind of old-fashioned, and she gets by on her own terms. So that's Betty, all right? Now let's move on to Klein, because I didn't save the best for last. I saved the worst for last. Klein, to put it very mildly, is a bag of shit in human form. He is an absolute monster. Klein is the kind of person that I would like to take up to the highest building in the world, all right? Push him off of it, and hope that I can get back down to the ground level before he does, so I can watch the splat. That's how much I hated Klein, and that's how well written out or how well developed Klein's character is. Ross Jeffery he's done a great job with all these characters, but I think he defined or what's the word I'm looking for? Fleshed out Klein the absolute best, all right? I liked all of these characters. Well, I liked the first two characters, Betty and Janet. I literally despise Klein, as you can tell what I just told you about the building thing. That, yeah, you can tell how badly I despise this person, this character, all right? So, that being said, I love this book, all right? I flew through this book so fast, and to be honest with you, I'm sitting there trying to figure out what kind of rating I want to give this, because as I started reading it, I'm like, okay, I got about a quarter of the way in, I'm like, okay, this is like a 3-star book. I started reading more, and it's like, no, this is a 4-star book. But finally, I started getting toward the end and realizing how wonderful these characters are developed. And then the thing that Ross does that I'm trying to think of the right word, that up the ante as far as my rating is concerned, is he throws in a twist at the end of this book. And I am not going to spoil this for you, but he throws in a twist at the end of this book that just absolutely threw me for a loop. All right? I mean, the whole cliche about knock my socks off, threw me for a loop. Whatever you want to say, that's exactly what he did with this book. So this book went from a 3-star to begin with, a little bit of it, then up to a 4-star. I'm sorry, but I'm giving... No, sorry, I'm not sorry. Good grief. 5 stars, man. I love this book. I did. And there's going to be a sequel to it. It's called Tome. I do have a copy of that, but I wrote Ross and told him what I was going to rate the book. And he said that he's going to send me another copy of Tome because he's updated it and revised it. And he said he wants me to read that one. So I'm going to hold off on reading Tome until I get that other copy. But yeah, Juniper, I cannot recommend this book enough. It is just an absolutely awesome book. And if you look up here, it says Ross Jeffery has birthed the love child of Stephen King and Cormac McCarthy. And when I first read that, I thought to myself, what exactly does that mean? And I thought, I see what they're talking about, because it's almost a really, you know what? I'm not going to say anything more. I know that's just, I agree with it. That's what I'm going to say, is I agree with it. But anyway, Juniper, 5 stars. Highly recommended. If you get a chance, check this book out. I don't think you're going to be sorry. All right? So, yeah, by all means, check this book out. And that's going to do it for me. That is my review of Juniper by Ross Jeffery. And I'll leave a link down below in the description to where you can buy this. And I thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.